Hello friends, myself Amit Belikar welcomes you back to my channel Tips and Tricks by A and B. Today we are discussing about how microorganisms produce harmful effect in our body. After going through this video, learner will be able to define toxins, describe endotoxins and exotoxins. In previous video, we already discussed about the mechanisms of immunity. We discussed that types of antibody formation depends upon the harmful effects produced by the microorganisms. So we will discuss how microorganism produces its harmful effect. So we have to discuss about toxins, or it is also called as virulence. All pathogenic microorganisms produces toxic substances or toxins which are responsible for producing the disease. So toxic substance is produced by microorganism that is responsible for producing the disease. Ability of microorganism to produce such a toxic substance is called as virulence. So the ability to produce toxic substance is called as virulence. Depending upon toxic substance produced by microorganism, these microorganisms are divided into two types as bacteria producing endotoxins and bacteria producing exotoxins. So we will discuss this one by one. Bacteria producing endotoxin. In such bacteria, the toxin produced by microorganism does not diffuse out of the cell of microorganism. You can see here in the animation. Toxin is produced in the body of microorganism, but it cannot release out from the cell of microorganism. It remains in the cell of microorganism. Such a toxin is called as endotoxin. Endo means inside. So toxin which remains inside the microorganism, cell of microorganism, is called as endotoxin. Endotoxins are liberated when the bacteria are disintegrated or bacteria are breaked or lysis of bacteria can take place. So here antibodies produced should be very effective against bacteria and not against the toxins. Antibodies should be such that they should reduce the lysis of bacteria or disintegration of bacteria so that minimum endotoxin will be liberated in our body. So that is the relation. How bacteria produce its effect, depending upon that antibodies can be produced in our body. Now depending upon the mechanism by which these antibodies can act, there are different types of antibodies. First is Opsonins. First type of antibody is Opsonins. Antibodies which make the bacteria more susceptible to phagocytosis are called as Opsonins. So these antibodies are not killing the bacteria directly. They are making bacteria susceptible for phagocytosis, and after phagocytosis bacteria lysis or killing can take place. Second is Agglutinins. These are the antibodies which cause agglutination or coming together or grouping or clumping of the bacteria. So these are called as agglutinins. They produces agglutination. Next is Precipitins. Antibodies which cause precipitation of endotoxins are called as Precipitins. So they are not acting on microorganism, they are acting against the endotoxins. So they precipitate the endotoxin and reduces the effect of endotoxin. Next is Bacteriolysins. Bacteriolysins, these are the antibodies which prepare bacteria for lysis. Lysis of bacteria can be easily takes place if bacteriolysins are present. Bacteriolysin produces lysis of bacteria only in presence of a substance which is called as complement. Complement is a substance present in blood or body fluids of a body and is a complex of several components. It is non-specific in nature. It is responsible for lysis of bacteria only if bacteria is combined with their specific bacteriolysins. So that complement is very important. If bacteriolysins are there, bacteriolysins cannot perform its function by their own or singularly. They should have complement. That complement substance and bacteriolysins work together to kill or lysis of the bacteria. Next type of bacteria, that is bacteria producing exotoxins. During the growth of such pathogenic microorganisms, a poisonous substance is released or diffused through the bacterial cell wall into the medium in which they are growing. So here what happens in animation, you can see toxin which is produced by the bacteria, it releases out of the bacteria from the cell of bacteria into the surrounding. Such poisonous substance which is produced by bacteria is called as exotoxin. These toxins or exotoxins are carried to all parts producing harmful effects in our body. In response to such toxin, body produces some antibodies which have capacity to neutralize its harmful effects. Such antibodies are called as antitoxins. So antitoxins are the antibodies which are effective against exotoxins, not the endotoxins. Antibodies which act against viruses and rickettsia can also be produced by our body, but by different mechanisms than that of bacterial antibodies. So that we are not discussing here. We are discussing mostly about the bacteria. Now it is time to summarize. In this video, we had discussed about toxins and virulence, bacteria producing endotoxins and exotoxins, details of endotoxins and exotoxins, and we had discussed finally about the types of antibodies which are going to be produced in response to endotoxins and exotoxins in our body. Thank you for listening me patiently. If you have any queries, you can contact me on my mail address which is given below. If you want to watch more such videos, please like and subscribe my channel Tips and Tricks by A and B. Thank you once again.